Picture a birthday feast in Herod's palace. Musicians play, wine is poured, guests reclined at the table. A young girl dances before the king, and Herod is so pleased that he promises her anything she wants. That single promise, made in a moment of pleasure, will end an innocent man's life before the night is over. Herod had imprisoned John the Baptist because John told him plainly it was wrong for him to marry Herodias. Herod wanted John dead, but feared the crowd, who honored John as a prophet. At his birthday feast, today's gospel, Herodias' daughter danced, and Herod was so delighted, he swore an oath before his guests, promised whatever the girl wants, he would give. Prompted by the girl's mother's Herodias, who harbored anger against John, the girl asked for John's head. But because of his oath and his watching guests, he had John beheaded. Notice what actually decided this beheading of John. Not truth, not justice, emotion. Pleasure at the dance, pride in a careless oath, fear of looking weak before his guests. Even Herod's sadness, a right feeling, but it was not strong enough to save John, because a stronger feeling, rooted in pride, had already taken control. How often do we decide the same way? Not the choices we bring to prayer, but the ones made while still angry, still hurt, still afraid of what people will say, agreeing to what we should not, staying silent when we should speak, or speaking when we should stay silent, letting the feeling of the moment dictate our course of action by default, or worse, making decision carried by the emotion of the moment. How many vocations are lost because a seminarian or a sister decided to leave the convent or seminary prompted by emotions, like the emotion of anger. John shows us the other picture. His confrontation of Herod was not an outburst of anger. It was the same steady truth he proclaimed before he was ever arrested. His courage did not come from strong feeling in the moment. It came from being anchored in God, and that anchor never moved. The book of Proverbs says, "The fear of man lays a snare, but whoever trusts in the Lord is kept safe." Pagkatakot sa tao ay bitag, ngunit ang nagtitiwala sa Diyos ay ligtas. Saint Paul writes, "If I were still trying to please people, I would not be a servant of Christ. It is better to please God rather than pleasing people." 15 centuries later, Thomas More, Chancellor of England, faced the same test. He refused to approve King Henry VIII's unlawful marriage. though it would cost him his life. Before his execution in 1535, he said, "Mamamatay akong mabuting lingkod ng hari, ngunit lingkod muna ako ng Diyos. I die the king's good servant, but God first." His decision, like John's, was settled long before the day of testing came. Brothers and sisters, before deciding something important, pause first. Do not decide while still feeling strong inside, like pride or fear, hurt or anger. Ask yourself honestly, am I deciding from emotion or from what pleases God? Then before you act, pray, Lord, is this pleasing to you? Brothers and sisters, God does not ask us to feel nothing. He asks us to let Him, not our emotions, have the final word. The same God who steadied John in prison and steadied Thomas More before his execution is ready to steady us too. He gives us His Spirit so our hearts can stay calm, clear, and free enough to choose Him first. Emotions can move us, but only God's truth should anchor us. Lord, steady our hearts. Let our decisions come from You and not from the feeling of the moment. Amen.